The maitre d's words sliced through the air with a casual indifference. "We'll put it on Mrs. Cole's card as usual," his smile erasing my identity as if I were a ghost at the feast. I didn't bother to meet his gaze. My attention was riveted on my daughter Maya, draped in a silk gown I hadn't financed, lifting a $200 glass of in a toast to Lucas's self-satisfied parents across the table. The scene was a tableau of opulence: lobster tails, truffle risotto, designer bags slung carelessly over chairbacks, a vivid portrait of prosperity built on pilfered funds. They remained oblivious to my presence. But I had seen more than enough. I drew a steadying breath, as if bracing against a tempestuous sea, and murmured to my companion, "Dada, what time is it?" He glanced at his watch. 8:51. 9 minutes remained. I slipped outside the restaurant and dialed the number I'd stored 2 weeks prior. Mr. Alvarez answered on the first ring. "Freeze the emergency card at 9 p.m., I instructed. Not a moment sooner. He hesitated. "Mrs. Reed, are you certain?" "Absolutely," I confirmed. Those 9 minutes were all Maya and Lucas had left to sustain their facade of affluence, toasting their delusions with my money. I lingered outside, observing them through the glass like artifacts in a gallery, proud, utterly convinced I'd remain unaware. That emergency card was never intended for champagne tastings, boutique sprees, or subsidizing Lucas's parents as if they were dignitaries. It was meant for groceries. Maya understood this. She'd wept in my embrace when I handed it to her after her father's passing. "You'll always have something," I'd assured her, unaware that I'd become that something. Their laughter rang out now, Maya planting a kiss on Lucas's cheek as if she hadn't deceived me 3 days earlier, claiming financial strain and begging me to cover the tax bill just this once. I nearly relented, until the alerts began piling up. I didn't barge in. Instead, I ordered a coffee at a corner table and waited, as I had for months, silently accumulating evidence of their excess. At 9 o'clock, their world would shift not with shouts or hysterics, but with a silence they couldn't afford. Since I refused to bankroll the falsehood any longer, their mirth peaked as the first charge hit. I saw the flicker of confusion on Maya's face through the window. A memory crashed over me like a wave carrying her to daycare that first morning, her tiny frame clinging to me, one arm around my neck, the other gripping my blouse. "Mom," she'd whispered, her breath warm against my ear. "Don't go." I'd kissed her temple, vowing to always be there. That promise echoed in the miles I drove to school with an empty gas tank. The cold sandwiches I ate so she could have warm meals, the night shifts I worked, the shoes I skipped, the clothes I mended. It had taken root in me. Now, that promise was being sold back to me in small, thoughtless increments. Taxis, dress shops without a word of thanks. 3 weeks ago, she'd called in tears over a broken oven. I sent money, only to see her flaunt a boutique tag the next day. Last month, exhausted from work and Lucas's travels, she requested lasagna. I delivered 3 trays and groceries, watching her discard my salad for sushi. Their lies weren't grand, just persistent small deceptions that stained over time. "It's just a dinner. It's temporary. We'll repay you." They never did, and I never pressed, clinging to the hope that Maya still needed me as she once had at 3, arms tight around my neck. But love doesn't empty your savings and call it gratitude. I sat just beyond their table, watching the seconds tick by on my phone. 8:56. This time, I was the one releasing my hold. And I wouldn't whisper my goodbye 2 weeks ago. I'd sat at my kitchen table with coffee, 2 Advil, and a year's worth of statements, sensing a gradual shift, a slow leak of excuses, missed thanks, and a Barbaresco bistro charge on a night they'd claimed to stay in. I dug in, cross-referencing Maya's public Instagram stories. July 16th. Lucas's promotion celebration with a $126.49 entree charge. August 3rd, a $488 wine tasting at Cello Cellars. August 21st, a $291.30 spa day at Lavender Ridge. September 5th, a $232 farm-to-table meal. The total reached $4,283.36 over 60 days, not emergencies, but a lifestyle masked as necessity. I contacted Mr. Alvarez, requesting documentation and monitoring, admitting, "She's my daughter, but this isn't right." He listened with care, and I CC'd myself twice on the emailed receipts. Tonight wasn't about catching them. That was done. It was about timing. I know Maya. A private confrontation would bring tears, excuses, and perhaps a nostalgic plea, like remember the cinnamon rolls on snow days, but she couldn't spin a public decline or rewrite witnesses. So, I sat calmly at 8:50, sipping lukewarm coffee, waiting rather than plotting. The distinction was everything. The last time I'd seen Lana, she was clearing brunch tables with a towel over her shoulder. Her smile unwavering despite rude gestures, a stark contrast to my Sundays here after church, before I felt unwelcome at Maya's table. Now, nearing 9 o'clock, Leia spotted me by the window, raising an eyebrow before nodding. I rested my hand on the folder beside my purse, our agreed signal. 2 days ago, I'd called her, explaining my suspicion about Maya's card use. "I just need the truth on paper," I'd said. She delivered a stack of itemized receipts in Maya's name, charged to me, including a $14 asparagus side they'd left uneaten. Tonight, Leia passed my table, slipping a napkin with "Marco and I will back your story." Time-stamped logs, saved in tight script. Her steady nod across the room spoke volumes. People like Maya assume the world runs on charm, forgetting the quiet women who observe, serve, and share truths when the moment is right. It'd be simpler to frame this as a $4,200 grievance, painting me as a bitter old woman tired of footing the bill. But it's more complex. The money is evidence. The real debt is the disrespect, the gradual erosion of boundaries. Maya's tone grew colder with each request, as if I owed her, as if her acceptance was a gift. This dinner wasn't about repayment, it was about halting the silent theft of my future before it consumed my peace. Maya doesn't know my savings are stretched thin, that I've tapped a retirement fund I swore to preserve, or that I'd be out of options in 5 years if this continued. I didn't aim to shame her, but to warn her. She ignores warnings until they sound like consequences. So, I chose a voice she'd heed. One the room could hear, not to humiliate or destroy, but to stop. This betrayal requires a surgeon's precision. Direct, recognizing that unchecked rot spreads. Tonight's rules: no screaming, no scene, no tears if possible. I won't be the mother filmed for drama. I'll be the woman who commands respect upon entering. That's why I called the bank, brought the folder, printed copies for Mr. Alvarez and my lawyer. I'll protect the account, cut her off legally and emotionally, having served enough casseroles and swallowed enough shame is the understanding one. Henceforth, I seek boundaries, not gratitude. At 8:58, I watched Maya swipe her phone, lips pursed in her signature pose, effortless yet calculated. Her post appeared. Nothing like a special night with the in-laws. Hashtag grateful, hashtag family first, hashtag Portland Biastro.a. Video loop of clinking glasses and lobster laughter followed. Lucas's hand on her back, his parents' smiles too broad. She omitted me, naturally. Though I funded it, I texted my sister-in-law Marianne, a keeper of Maya's truer self. Hope they enjoy the night. I paid enough for it. Marianne, never discreet, liked the post and commented, "So sweet." And after Eleanor already paid for that event earlier today. Busy woman, Maya's next story smile tightened. She noticed. For once, she wondered what I knew. Precision doesn't require shouting. A tap on the glass suffices. Before 9 o'clock, everything was set. The card, documents, witnesses. I hadn't come to trap her. I came to validate what I'd uncovered 2 days ago. I'd built the case at my table. Layers, receipts, bank statements, Maya's posts all aligned like sentinels. I emailed Mr. Alvarez with a freeze request at 9 p.m., attaching evidence and copying my lawyer. The envelope in my purse held hard copies, not for theatrics but readiness. I arrived early, ordered coffee, and observed from a wall-side table. At 8:57, I set my phone down. Timing set. Maya, 3 tables away, laughed with Lucas, dabbing her mouth for an unseen camera. Leia's napkin confirmed support. At 9 o'clock, the waiter delivered the check. Maya reached for it, handing over my card without a glance. Lucas grinned at his parents. My phone buzzed. Maya asking, "Mom, you coming?" Then an Instagram story of dessert captioned, "Perfect night." Just perfect. She wasn't aware of me. The text was a performance, excluding me from her staged life. At 9:01, the waiter returned. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. The card has been declined." The silence was surgical. Maya froze. Lucas frowned. His parents reacted. Curiosity. She laughed weakly. Searching for excuses, I stood, envelope in hand. Walking calmly, at their table, I placed it before her, tapping it once. "Read it. All of it." She opened it, trembling. As the waiter asked about another card, Lucas fumbled. His father paid silently. I left, hearing her faint "Mom, wait," but didn't turn back. The next day, Marianne texted. Lucas's parents refused to cover. Jess called out their lies. And Maya's Instagram went silent. I felt cleansed. Not vengeful, letting her face her choices cost. I removed her from all accounts, notified vendors, and received a card from Lucas's grandmother with pressed flowers. Valuing my strength. Thanks for listening. What are your thoughts on family loyalty's limits? Share below and where you're watching.